far.
Video Killed the Radio Star is up for Best Music Video, Best Animated Film, and Best Canadian Film. And today we're here with one of the stars, the male singers of the short music video, Ori Dagan. Ori, how are you?
Really well. Nice to be here.
Video Killed the Radio Star is a song originally performed by the Buggles. And I was wondering if you had any familiarity with them or liked them growing up.
It's a lead-off single for my new album, and actually the whole album is original songs. So I was looking for a cover to kick it off, and the theme of my new record, Click Right Here, is all about bringing jazz into the 21st century. So when I was looking for a song to cover as a bonus track, I thought, I wonder if there's a standard out there that's about technology. And as I was in a department store, this song came on completely by coincidence. And I'm like, this is the song. Can I make this into jazz? And I thought it's a great song, of course. But I also think it's kind of prophetic because I think what the song is saying is very true. These days, the music videos are what rule. It's been that way for a long time. But in other words, you can't really do anything with a song these days without a music video.
Do you struggle with, marketing yourself?
I'm very lucky that I work with an amazing team. And part of that team, my manager, is also my stylist, and he has a lot to say. But it's a big part. It's love it or leave it. It's a big part of being in the entertainment business. And overall, I do enjoy taking that into account about the way that I present myself to the audience.
The opening scene is in the studio,
Yes.
and the two singers are starting the song, and then there's a sound engineer mixer, someone behind the glass helping them out. But on his wall behind him, there's a picture of the jazz space alien studio that we see in the end. And I'm wondering, wondering what you think, if there's something to be said about just the industry behind these musicians also hoping for some utopia where jazz singers on the radio get their spotlight, or what's your take on that?
The engineer that you see is in fact a depiction of the real engineer, Jeremy Darby, who is a Grammy nominated sound wizard. He got nominated a few years ago for working with Sarah Bareilles. And the studio is Canterbury Music Studio right here in Toronto. Funny little fact, originally Miguel, concocted this sound engineer, which looked nothing like Jeremy. And I just said, you have got to fix this. Here's a photo because he will kill me. And he brought all these little things into it. So, for example, he has the picture in the studio. And also at the end of the video, there's a guy looking into his own reflection. And that is Miguel himself. He always puts a little cameo at the end of his music videos.
Since we're on that point, how do you read that? Because in the sign, it's not only radio is outdated, now television is outdated too. And all of the different outdated machines are behind this glass, and there's this lonely man with the trench coat who we see as an alien. What does all that mean to you?
Well, I mean, I guess there's a variety of ways to read it. I mean, there's kind of a play on lightness. I mean, it's a pretty fun video, but there is certainly a darkness to the song. So I think that he wanted to keep some of that and play with it.
And what was it like putting the vocals together and working with the director and just making all of this come to life? What was that process like for you?
Biggest challenge of this particular song was also its greatest reward, and that was working with Simone Denny, who is a huge force in the Canadian music industry, but she's not a jazz singer per se. She's, of course, known for that beautiful song, You're a Superstar, that she recorded with Love Inc. She's a 4-time Juno winner. But you know what? I just thought of her for this. I met her at an event we were both on a few years ago. So I just thought, take a chance. Why not? I was looking for someone really cool to sing this with. And I don't know, I guess partly because of her in my mind, kind of think of her, I think of that golden age of music videos. I used to stay up and watch the Much Music Countdown. And so it was kind of challenging for me because I'd never really worked with her before. And all of this was happening during COVID. So we didn't have a proper rehearsal or anything like that. And when we got to the studio, and of course, Jeremy, our recording engineer, was there, uh, it was kind of freaky because I had not heard her ever sing jazz before. So I had no idea, to be honest,
Mm.
if she could pull it off. And as soon as she opened her mouth, I was like, damn, she can swing.
If I was young, it didn't stop you coming through. Whoa,
Yes.
Yeah, she killed
So
it.
she was very inspiring, because there's a lot of kind of back and forth, especially that last 90 seconds of the tune. It's very free and improvised, and we just kind of went back and forth. So she was super generous and wonderful to work with. And when it came to working with the director, we gave him a lot of freedom. We just kind of gave him a basic idea. I mean,
Mm.
part of the whole thing was making this record during COVID. We were just kind of sitting around and thinking, oh, I really want to release this when I can properly tour with it. Because, I had
Right.
a lot of peers in my circle where they had records in the can and then they were just like, okay, let's just release it. Like I can't wait anymore. And I just watched them do this and I was like, oh, what are you gonna, is this the right thing to do right now? So relating that to the music video, we kind of just said, why don't we do a play on that? We're in the studio, but we're dreaming about touring. Maybe we can. I don't know. The idea was let's go to Europe, let's go to different countries, and it was Miguel who said, okay, what do you think? How about if you guys go to space? Like it works with the song, and so really the storyboard it's Miguel, and he brought it back to us and we just said, yes, we love this. Go with this, don't go with that. But he really was such a huge, huge force. Amazing, amazing guy to work with.
I love what you said about it being a kind of cathartic uh, experience for the both of you, and it is recognizable what both of you bring to the table while listening to the song. But to focus more on your music, I was wondering how you would kind of characterize your sound.
Well, I guess as a jazz musician, and I'm really passionate about this music, my goal, particularly when I'm performing somebody else's song, my goal is to bring it to the present and make it fresh and change it up in a way that the listener will like. And it's a great challenge. I've been singing jazz for over 20 years, and a lot of that time I've been doing standards and covers, and that's really evolved. I mean, when you start out in jazz, you do the old classics from the 30s and 40s, which of course were pop music back then. But as I kind of in my jazz journey, I've been continuing to push that envelope and surprise the audience because to me that's what jazz is about is surprise. And so you take something familiar and you change it up and you hope for the best. I guess you kind of have to have guts to do that. And I had feedback about it, with people saying, "Wow, I never even understood the words to that song before. Great job, guys."